I never believed in curses until that night. My friends dragged me to the abandoned house on Raven Street, number 17. They said it was haunted, perfect for a midnight seance. The house was silent, its windows shattered like blind eyes. Dust swirled in our flashlights. Every creak underfoot felt like a warning. Yet laughter covered our fear as we stepped inside. We set candles in the living room, forming a shaky circle. The wallpaper peeled like rotting skin. Jason placed the Ouija board at the center, grinning wide. He loved playing with fear. We joined hands, whispering nonsense first, then the chant Jason had found online. The air thickened. Shadows twitched at the edge of candlelight. My chest tightened, as if drowning. The planchette moved. None of us pushed it, yet it slid across letters, spelling, "I am here." The candles flickered violently. Jason laughed nervously, but sweat drenched his forehead. Suddenly, the temperature dropped. My breath fogged in the dim light. From the hallway came slow, dragging steps. We froze, eyes wide. Jason whispered, "It's just the house settling." But the steps grew louder, closer, until they stopped right outside the circle. A foul stench spread, like rotting meat. The shadows bent unnaturally, stretching toward our candles. The first scream tore through the silence as Kelly's chair yanked backward. She slammed into the wall, her neck twisting at an angle too sharp. Her eyes stared blank, unblinking. We scrambled to our feet. The circle broke. Candles toppled, spilling wax. The shadows surged like living smoke. A guttural growl shook the floorboards, vibrating in my bones. Jason tried to joke, but his voice cracked. Then something seized him, dragging him into the hallway. His nails screeched against wood as he vanished into the black. We heard him scream, then choke, then silence. When we dared look, a crimson smear stretched along the floor, as if his body had been dragged deeper into the dark. Panic erupted. Mark bolted for the door, but it slammed shut before he reached it. Nails protruded from the wood, piercing into his hands as he clawed, screaming. The wood splintered, swallowing his hands up to the wrists. He shrieked, blood spraying as the door flexed like a mouth, crunching down until his arms tore free. Mark collapsed, screaming wordless agony. The floor beneath him softened like tar, bubbling and sucking him downward. We tried to grab him, but his body sank and vanished. Only 3 of us remained. The candles guttered, barely light left. Something moved in the corners, too tall, too thin. Its limbs scraped the ceiling as it bent toward us. It spoke without words, inside our skulls, promising freedom if we stayed. But each syllable burned, like molten iron pressed into thought. I clutched my head, screaming silently. Beside me, Anna's nose bled. She screamed as invisible hands twisted her legs backward. Bones snapped wetly, her body folding in ways that shouldn't exist. She begged for help, but her jaw ripped open wider, teeth cracking as her scream tore itself apart. The entity leaned closer, savoring her agony before she went silent. I couldn't move. My legs refused me. Only Emily remained beside me, whispering prayers. The creature's shadow enveloped her, stretching over her skin like oil, seeping inside. Her body convulsed, spine arching as if strings pulled her upward. Her eyes rolled white. Then her mouth opened and another voice poured out. Not hers. Deeper. Ancient. Emily's body jerked violently, her limbs moving like a puppet. She screamed, but the sound was not hers anymore. The thing inside her laughed, a guttural, mocking roar. Her fingers clawed at her own skin, ripping deep red lines. She looked at me with empty eyes. The shadow stretched from her mouth, growing teeth where none should be. I tried to run, but the walls seemed to close in, the wallpaper pulsing like veins, every doorway twisted, leading me back into the same cursed living room. Emily's body levitated, bones cracking, before slamming down. When she rose, her jaw hung loose, and the creature spoke through her. "You will never leave this place." The candles burst, fire licking the wallpaper. Shadows writhed like snakes, choking the air. The floor split open, revealing endless black void beneath our feet. Emily plunged into the void, screaming in 2 voices at once. Her arms clawed at nothing as darkness swallowed her whole, leaving only echoes of laughter. I was alone. The silence pressed heavy until the entity emerged, towering above me. Its face was a blur, shifting constantly, yet its gaze burned through my skull. It bent low, whispering in 1,000 voices, all promising pain. My body refused to move. My skin crawled as its shadow fingers wrapped tight around my throat. I gasped, clawing at invisible hands. Spots danced in my vision. The thing did not kill me. Instead, it carved words into my skin. Mine forever, burning with fire. The pain was unbearable. Flesh sizzled. Smoke rose from my arms. Yet the entity smiled, pleased. It branded me like cattle, marking me as its eternal possession. The floor swallowed the candles. Only darkness remained, except for its glowing eyes forming in the void. They pierced me, dragging my soul inch by inch. Voices of my dead friends echoed around me, begging, screaming, laughing, their faces twisted in the shadows, accusing me, blaming me for bringing them here. He baby's shadow stretches with grotesque length, writhing unnaturally as if alive. My veins burned black, spreading like lightning beneath my skin. Every beat of my heart carried whispers, the entity embedding itself deeper into my soul. It finally set me down, not dead, not alive. The house was silent again, corpses gone. Only bloodstains and broken candles remained, proof of the nightmare. I staggered outside at dawn. The street was empty, the world normal, yet my shadow stretched unnaturally long, twitching as if it had a life of its own. Neighbors never saw my friends again. They whispered rumors, but no one entered number 17. The house stood waiting, silent, its windows watching me always. At night, I hear them. Kelly's laugh, Jason's scream, Anna's sobs, Emily's twisted voice. They echo in my head, growing louder whenever I close my eyes. The brand on my arm still burns. Sometimes it glows red in the mirror, and in its glow, I see the tall shadow behind me, smiling, waiting for the final claim. I am not alone. I never will be. The entity lives in me now, feeding on my fear, whispering promises. One day, I know, it will drag me fully into its darkness.